Best believe that trauma sometimes does not occur once. Your response or reactions towards those situations that occur again will be proof of how you have healed from that situation. Guys, if you've ever been ill, injured, had to go through surgery, or physical trauma of any kind, and you come to us at the hospital, we tell you to give it time, go home and rest. But we also prescribe antibiotics, physical therapy, physical wound management, and every other thing that we employ to ensure effective healing of that ill health or injury. You already know this. But how about the emotional and psychological injuries that we do not see? Is it also practical to say give it time? We come to understand that the effectiveness of the healing is dependent on every other action that is taken in and on time towards the effective care or whatever injury it is. Have you ever seen two people who underwent the same kind of injury, and after healing, both scars look differently? It is not only dependent on the genetic makeup of these two individuals, but also the kind of care that was taken to ensure and also speed up the healing process for these two people. When it comes to emotional and psychological wounds, best believe that the same thing is applied. That is why you see two people who have gone through the same thing but come out differently, with a different mindset, with a different result. There's an active and passive role that we all play in the effective healing of whatever trauma we're going through. There is positive or effective healing and negative or ineffective healing, like I would like to call it. There are a lot of things that can cause emotional and psychological injuries. Trauma of any kind, loss of a loved one, loss of a relationship or friendship, loss of a job, and so many other things. The actions that we take in the process of healing will result in whatever outcome we see further down the line. Have you ever seen a situation where in an encounter with someone, they blow up for no apparent reason, at least to you? This may be as a result of something that had happened in the past that they have not fully dealt with, even though time has passed. Some of the ineffective actions that you can take that will affect your healing negatively include denial, lack of accountability, lack of forgiveness for yourself and for the other party involved. People go through stuff, maybe a loss of a loved one, and end up hating God. People come out of heartbreak and even after years keep saying things like men are scum, there is no love anywhere, and every other negative thing that you may have heard either said to you or heard someone say in passing. I'm not here to judge anyone's trauma or coping mechanism. However, I'll be sharing with you some of the positive actions that you can take in order to heal properly. Number one, acceptance of whatever it is that has occurred and the effect it has on you. In that, there is time to cry, time to grieve, throw tantrums, pity parties, time to be in bed all day and not do anything. There's also acceptance of your role in whatever thing has occurred. Because let's be honest, unless it is the loss of a loved one, then you probably had no hand in that. However, if it's an occurrence of a relationship, friendship, or partnership of any kind, then there's also a role you played in bringing that thing to pass. Because even in a situation where you were in a relationship with someone who was toxic in any way, narcissist or whatever, and this person took complete advantage of you, you have to understand the role that you played in staying, in accepting it, and even in sometimes enabling such behavior. If you watch my video on how to date to know yourself, I pointed out situations where some of the traumas that we grew up with affect our adult life. If you were disregarded or not affirmed as a child, you can come out as an adult seeking relationships that will validate or replace that love that you did not get growing up. And this has led a lot of people into falling into the wrong hands. If you can accept that, or if you can see your own part in that, then you can start finding ways that you can heal from that trauma. This will lead you to the second process, which is learning. Because anything that happens to you, you have the ability to learn from it. When you begin to dig deep into these things, especially your own part of it, because chances are, in the case of relationship breakup, you're not hearing anything from the other person, you're not getting any closure, they're not telling you why they may have hurt you in the way that they did. But you can pay attention to yourself and try to dig deep into your life, into your upbringing, into the things that's happened to you, why that happened, how it affected you, and how you can effectively heal from that. Then you may start to understand how your negative circumstance, maybe growing up, has affected you as an adult. Why you accept certain behaviors, or not even notice them at all till it's too late. When you learn these lessons, you can begin to move forward with your understanding. This will also lead you to the third thing, which is forgiveness. Forgiving yourself for not having the right knowledge, for not knowing what you should know, or for not having realized these things about yourself before you went into that relationship. Forgiving yourself for the time wasted in some cases, or whatever loss that you have incurred because of your lack of knowledge. And also forgiving the other person, because in most cases, yes, there are situations where people know exactly what they are doing, and there are people who become toxic for their own selfish reasons. There are also people who do not know that the trauma that they went through as kids is also affecting them in life. Take for instance, someone who grew up in a domestic violence prone home, that person can become an adult and think that that is the way of life. Never quite healing from what it is, but also accepting that as truth. I'm sure you've heard the saying, hurting people hurt other people. And that's also right, because there are some people who haven't also done the work that you just did to realize how their own negative behaviors are affecting other people. So it is very important to not just forgive yourself, but also forgive the other person. It doesn't mean that it will bring you back in contact with this person, but it gives you freedom and peace from that negative emotion. So when you've accepted what has happened to you, accepted your role, learned from your mistakes, and also forgiven yourself, these are processes that take time. However, it is your partnership with time in the actions that you're taking that leads you to healing effectively for whatever your trauma is. For the person who went through a loss, maybe the loss of a loved one through death, their process will of course be very different. They start to realize how accepting the situation, forgiving the situation, how therapy, being part of support groups can help them ease that pain, how forming other friendships can help them combat the weight of that loss. So you see that there is not only an active or passive partnership with time, but also a positive and a negative partnership. And whichever route you choose to follow will inevitably affect the outcome of your process. If you choose the negative route, you only come out bitter, having malice and hatred for that situation, for the person involved, or whatever that situation is. However, if you choose positive actions, you will come out with a positive mindset and a positive view about that situation. Best believe that trauma sometimes does not occur once. You will find yourself in situations where you encounter those kind of people or those kind of situations again. This is what is then called triggers. Your response or reactions towards those situations that occur again will be proof of how you have healed from that situation. If you're someone who has healed properly, in the case of meeting a toxic person, it is easier for you to identify such people. You know not to engage. You know to say, no, this is not for me. I've encountered you before and I'm not about to waste my time. You know to walk out of those kind of situations faster than you did the previous time. And this is not out of malice, but out of a place of knowledge and understanding. Also, if you've gone through a loss of a loved one, you now know that dissociation from your friends or picking up negative habits like drinking and smoking did not help you the last time, but that going to therapy and forming closer bond with God and with your friends helped you out of that situation. You go through the current process different from the way you went through it the first time. Guys, I hope this has helped you to understand the role you have to play in conjunction with time to help your healing. If you want to know those things that you can do to help you know yourself better, I suggest you watch this video right here on how to date to know yourself. As always, share this video with someone who you know will benefit from it. Also put in the comment section those things that you applied in your own life that helped you deal with one situation or the other, so that we can all learn. There will be more coming up from me, so I'll suggest you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss a single thing. Thank you for staying with me to the end of this video, and I'll see you in one of my other ones. Bye guys.